why bad thoughts show up uninvited, and how to kick them out for good. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Zachy and you're watching at Zachyprat. Today, we're diving into something a little deeper, something that affects a lot of people but isn't always talked about enough. Yep, I'm talking about depression. Specifically, we're going to talk about those bad thoughts that seem to come uninvited. You know, the ones that just pop up out of nowhere and knock the wind out of your sails. Sound familiar? Let's break it down. Let's start with the basics. We all have those moments where the thoughts in our heads feel, well, overwhelming. 1 minute, you're chilling, go about your day, and the next, bam, here come those dark, negative thoughts. You know the ones I'm talking about. They're like unwanted guests at a party, crashing in when you least expect it. Imagine you're hosting a party. Everything's going great, and then someone shows up uninvited. Someone who isn't bringing good vibes, just bringing negativity. That's kind of what it's like when those bad thoughts sneak in. They can be intrusive and hard to shake off. But why do they happen? It's not like we invite them in, right? Well, here's the tricky part. Our brains. Our brains are wired to detect danger, and that can sometimes mean that anything that feels uncertain or uncomfortable triggers that negative thought pattern. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a minor mistake and something that could actually harm you. All it sees is a threat. So, what's happening in your brain when these thoughts show up? Let's break it down quickly. Our brains are wired to respond to threats. It's part of the fight or flight system. And when you're dealing with depression, sometimes your brain gets stuck in that survival mode, constantly looking out for dangers. The problem is, it starts to misinterpret harmless situations as threats, which leads to those negative thoughts spiraling out of control. Research shows that areas of the brain like the amygdala, which is responsible for emotions, and the prefrontal cortex, which handles reasoning, can go out of sync when you're depressed. This means that instead of your brain filtering out the negativity, it just lets it in, which brings those uninvited bad thoughts to the forefront. Think of it like a filter that's supposed to block out the noise, but instead, it lets everything in, including all the negative stuff. It's like having a speaker with a broken volume knob. It doesn't know how to stop cranking up the negativity. Okay, so now we know why they come in, but why do they feel so intense? It's like these thoughts are on repeat, right? That's because our brains are literally designed to focus on negative experiences. It's like they get a microphone and start shouting louder than anything else. This is called the negativity bias. It makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint. Our brains are trying to protect us. But unfortunately, in today's world, this can cause more harm than good. These thoughts start to dominate, and before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle where every little thing feels like a failure. It's exhausting, and it makes it that much harder to find your way out. What you might not realize is that our brains are actually more sensitive to the negative than the positive. If something good happens, like getting a compliment, it might be nice, but your brain will likely focus more on that one negative comment you overheard. And that's the issue. Those bad thoughts, those uninvited guests take over, and we start to believe that they're all that's real. We start doubting ourselves, and suddenly, everything feels like a mountain to climb. Okay, so we talk about the problem. Now, let's talk about how to handle it. First things first, acknowledge that those thoughts don't define you. Just because they pop up doesn't mean they're the truth. It's like seeing a cloud in the sky and thinking it's going to rain forever. Guess what? Clouds move. And so do those thoughts. The trick is learning to sit with the discomfort without letting it take over. One of the best ways to do this is through mindfulness. You don't have to get rid of the thoughts. Just notice them. Okay, there's that thought again. I see you. And then let it pass. It's all about creating space between you and the thought. You see, the goal isn't to fight these thoughts or make them go away immediately. It's more about accepting that they exist, but not letting them control you. You can think, I hear you, but I don't have to act on you. It's like letting a song play in the background of your mind, but not allowing it to dictate your entire mood. Another great tool is journaling. When those bad thoughts come knocking, jot them down. This helps you distance yourself from them and start to see patterns. What's really interesting is that when you write things out, you often realize how many of those thoughts aren't based on reality at all. Journaling lets you see things from a different perspective. You can track your thoughts over time and notice that, more often than not, the things you fear the most never actually happen. It's like you're training your mind to focus on the present and not constantly anticipate the worst-case scenario. If you struggle with those thoughts, it's important to reach out for support, whether it's a friend, family member, or a professional. Talking about what you're going through can be a huge relief. Sometimes, we need help to put things into perspective, especially when those thoughts feel like they're all-consuming. There's no shame in seeking therapy or talking to someone who can offer guidance. It's not about fixing you. It's about helping you manage those thoughts so they don't take control of your life. You don't have to face it all alone, and reaching out for help is a brave step toward healing. And let's be real, taking that first step can feel scary. It might feel like you're admitting weakness, but in reality, it's an act of strength. It's saying, I'm worth taking care of. It's about finding your inner strength and saying, I deserve peace of mind. So, remember, those bad thoughts, they don't define who you are. They're just like unwanted guests, and with the right tools, you can show them the door. Be kind to yourself. Take it one step at a time, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. You're not alone in this. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more helpful content. And hey, if you're dealing with those uninvited thoughts, remember, you've got this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.